Well, there you have it. All done with another window. Still got to do the rears. Mechanisms are a little trickier, but we'll keep trucking along on this thing, and got a nice package of chrome for the interior. So we got the door handle on, steering wheel on, rearview mirror on. Just keep working away at it. How's it going? Whew. I've been sick the last couple days, so I haven't been getting a lot done. We did get both front windows done though, and so now we're gonna work on the rears here, and same basic thing. Do a little montage or something, and we'll keep going. Probably shouldn't have cleaned the glass because it's hard to even tell it's in there. Alright, so all the windows are done, moldings are in. Let's run this one up, see how it works. You're going to notice the windows running up very slowly. We're going to fix that in a few minutes. Pulled about 10 amps, rolling up. Isn't too bad. A little slow, but I think once it breaks in, I haven't even greased anything yet, it'll turn out a little better. Alright, now that everything else is so new and shiny, this thing was looking a little dull, so I'm just going to buff this up and then a little better. Alright guys, today I'm going to be wiring up the power windows. I'm going to show you how I do that. So I got, show you this part number here. I got all this stuff from Summit. So this will do 2 windows basically. It's a 4-gang relay box. I got a junction block. Got all my wiring and my relays in here. And notice I got another one for the rear windows because that will only do 2 windows. So the way we're doing this with the relays is to get maximum power to the window motors so they roll up and down efficient. Window will have its own color wire, so we'll know if we ever have to troubleshoot. It'll make it a lot easier in the future. So here we go. So I figured out where I want to locate these, and I'm going to put them side by side. So I noticed that both sides were a little different here. So I just took the feet off of those, and so you can piggyback them, which is really nice. So we got ourselves a little relay center here. We're going to put this in the center console. It'll have a little panel to access it. Lock all the terminals in once you get them in there. So alright, so there's going to be a lot of heavy gauge 12 gauge wiring mainly coming out of this relay box here, and I want to keep it as compact as I can, and I have to ground all of these, obviously both of these, but these I'd like 2 into 1. So I was going to think about just running a jumper loop, but these terminals aren't going to allow that. So they barely work for 12 gauge. So we're going to have to do some soldering. We'll get some shrink wrap, some solder out, and split these off. That way we'll have 8 ground wires coming out of here instead of 16. So that's going to take a minute. Let's get on that. Alright, sorry for the wind noise. So now that we got all these done, we'll get them in here in our box, and then we'll end up cutting them down again and splitting them into probably a 8 or a 6 gauge, probably a 6 gauge wire, and then we'll go to our ground from there. So that'll clean it up a little bit, instead of having this plus all the positives plus all the triggers plus all the motor wires coming out of here. It's a lot of wiring, so try and keep it clean as we can and continue on. We're going to do our positive wires off our 87s. So each one of these is going to be an up, a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, or vice versa, whichever way I lay them out. So I'll be able to bridge the up and the down power wire easily on each bank. I can't go like bank to bank, because if you wanted to roll, say, the front and the rear all up at the same time, the wire will get too hot. But you'll never roll up and down, obviously, on the same bank at the same time, so they can share a positive. So we will make a positive jumper for each bank, and one will be our trigger wire, and one will be our 30 will be our power out to our motor. So alright, so here's what we got. Basically, each one of these switches has 3 wires coming off. I checked it with an ohm meter. So your middle wire, you could use these as a ground or as power. I'm going to just go ahead and put power to them because it's easier for me in this situation. So basically, off each switch, you'll power each switch with the red wire, and you'll have an up and a down. I noticed my little alligator clips were leaving some marks, so I threw a little shrink wrap on there. I think that'll help. Eight different colors of wire. 12 gauge. It's good to 20 amps, I believe. I'll double check on that. 22 amps. So I was only pulling about 10 amps, but I want to be safe. If you're low on oil, I got a little bit of and I got some oil treatment too if you need it. So, you know, I'm sure it's still good. And I really trust that Thrifty brand in my high performance motor. I would recommend that stuff. Alright, so we got everything labeled, so we know what's what at both ends here. So we got to plug everything in. We got all our wires over here. We got all our wires down here to go to our motors. So this is going to turn into a big rat's nest in about 2 seconds, and we're going to try and keep it as clean as we can. And I've already got my power wire in to the battery. We still have to do a ground. Got to run it through a grommet there, and then the battery's in the trunk. So power and ground to a power and ground distribution block. We have one for each, and that way we can run our power seats to it, and they'll be on the battery. We can run our power windows off the battery, so if we want to do a key fob in the future, we can roll the windows down from a key fob. One more thing was power door locks. We need power for our power door locks also, because one of these is a power door lock switch. So these will get powered. These will go to our lock and unlock on our little solenoid box, which I think I have one over here. This one's kind of messed up. So our blue and our green wires are basically our lock and our unlock on these. And this box will go to get power too. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. I really gotta pay closer attention to what I'm doing here. I realized I got these on the wrong side because one has to be on an 85, one has to be on an 86 for the up and down, I believe. So I'm gonna have to swap these over real quick. Let the rat's nest begin. All right, we'll clean that up in a minute. But what we're doing now is I got my ohm meter out, and we are testing continuity on these switches so I can make sure that I know which ones are all the ups. Because since they're all yellow, it makes it a little difficult. So, get this out of the way. So what I'm doing, I'm just taking a little green paint pen and marking all the ups. So I got a couple more to do real quick. Alright, we're getting close to finishing this here. So, now that we got all our ups and downs marked, we can match our colors to whatever we got here. So this is green, and our up's gonna be on this side. Alright, so we got a delivery. I have no idea what it is because I didn't order this. But let's see, for sure it's for the car. What do we have here? Oh wow. Stereo stuff. Amp wiring kits. 4 gauge. Got that all in the one wire. We gotta put some insulation on this, some shrink wrap. Alright, so we got our ground. We're hooking up our batteries. I got a couple relays in there for the front one, and we're gonna test it and make sure everything works here. So this is where our switch will be sitting, somewhere in the center console. So here's how I have it oriented. Driver's side window, front window, driver's side rear window, power door locks, passenger side rear window, passenger side front window. So the front windows are closest to the front passengers, and then the rears are here. And we'll have door lock in the middle. So all the power. Man, you should hear that thing slam shut. It's the advantage of having that 12 gauge wiring and relays. So this is why we do it this way. Maximize all our power. We'll get all the rest of the relays in now, and we will figure out where we're going to run our wiring permanently. So probably run the front ones down this channel with these wires and then into there, and then the backs are right here. So pretty easy. We'll run it under the back seat where it won't be noticeable under the carpet or anything. It's hot here. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. And that's the way I like to do the windows. Really gives you all the power. Some of these hot rods, man, they have trouble getting the windows up and down, but as soon as you put these relays in, they just rock it up and down. So all the power, no issues. You're not going to burn up your switches because you're running relays. So it's the proper way to do it. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's probably close to 5 hours, 6 hours extra work. So it's worth it though. It's worth it when you want something to last and work right properly, not have to take it apart once it's all done. This is the way we do it. So hope y'all enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button here. More Heimlich Hot Rod videos here. Thanks for watching.